Hey everyone, welcome back to The Climb for the week of November 15th, 2024. We're starting a 3-week series, so surprise, of special episodes where I'm going to cover just one of the 3 topics that we go through on this series each week, which is League of Legends, learning Japanese, and getting in shape. Some of that is because I haven't been able to do everything completely, as in I've still got my stitches and I haven't been able to exercise, so that sort of section becomes kind of crushed under the other 2. And also I've been wanting to do kind of a technical analysis of each of the weeks because 1, it'd be interesting and fun I think for people to have a week, talking about each. And 2, I have found myself kind of falling behind on the scheduling with everything and getting in the habits of everything. So, I'm saying everything a lot. But I'm trying really hard to catch back up. I've fallen behind a little bit on the channel and keeping up with everything, and I'm hoping that I can catch up and get back into the groove of things to where you guys get good content from this, and it's not me just being like, hey, here's what I was able to get out this week along with everything else, really getting in the groove of making stuff happen. So without further ado, we're going to start out with a special edition episode of League of Legends, where I talk about my practice regimen, how I'm trying to improve, my personal struggles and opinions, and what I've been enjoying about the journey so far. So let's jump right into it. Now, obviously, League has a reputation for being challenging and for being quite frustrating, and I definitely feel that, but having the motivation of making videos has made it a little easier, and has also given me a bit of, I think, a different perspective than most would when working on the game and working on improving at the game in general. I try my best to take time to, at least for 15 minutes a day, sit down and do a CS practice where I just click on the minions and kill them and just kind of go through. You'll see that on the screen right now. I'm talking about it. Hopefully I've edited it well. But I try to sit here and I try to just practice the basics of, crowd control, manipulating the wave, just little things like that to get comfortable with the game, because I'm still very uncomfortable with it. I'll sit here and I'll CS practice and maybe do really well for the 15 minutes one day and be like, oh, I'm really in the groove. And then when I get into a match, I completely fall apart. And I think some of that is League matches take so long and they can be so challenging that you lose sight of the little things. And in a game like this, even the little things matter immensely. And I find myself frustrated about the fact that I go, man, I was practicing really well today, and then when I actually got to the moment, I didn't execute. And it's very annoying. But there's really nothing I can do about it to an extent. It's just muscle memory. I just have to keep practicing. And it can be frustrating. It can also be frustrating when you try to practice and you're clicking on the minions and you're trying to work on your last hitting and your positioning and you're doing terrible. And you're just like, gosh, I can't even do this. How could I ever win a game? And then you'll go off and get a triple kill in ARAM or something, which doesn't really the same, but you get what I mean. It's weird how I fluctuate back and forth. I've never really understood how to handle that, but it's the best I can do. I also try to practice before actually getting into games sometimes if I can. 1v1 practice and matchups with my friend Juan, who helps coach me. He's been wanting to do that more often, and I haven't had the chance in a long time to do that with him, so hopefully soon. But I think that's very helpful and also useful for me learning how to position myself against other champions and how to play the game. It can be quite challenging to learn matchups, with League having such a large roster of characters and a wide cast that's very different from each other. So, you got to learn every little minute thing to really start to get good at the game, and it can take forever to do that. That being said, I don't let it discourage me. You got to keep moving forward, and some of that I think is an important part of what I view, at least, is a good part of the practice regimen is, obviously, if I want to get better, I need to play. So just make sure you get games in. If I don't have as much time for Summoner's Rift matches, play an ARAM and do my practice routine. Just clicking around, moving with characters, playing a random character you don't even know in ARAM can teach you their kit a little bit, so when you face them in lane or in a match, you know what's going on. And it also just gets you comfortable with the controls of the game and how everything moves and motions and all of that stuff, It can be tough to sometimes focus on technique when you're uncomfortable. You can't just always practice and then get into a match and kind of tense up because, oh, this isn't like practice. This isn't like what I was doing before. There's more elements. You have to throw yourself in there over and over again, and eventually it'll kind of just start to click. So I'm kind of trial by firing myself a little bit and just making sure, hey, even if I'm having a tough time, get those matches in, play the game, even if you play simpler matches or, you play maybe a character you don't know very well, just whatever it takes to get me in the game. If I'm like, oh my gosh, I've only been playing Lux for a few days and it's annoying me, then play something else. Try Echo. Go terrible and tank as him, but keep comfortable with the game, play the matches out. It is important, I think, to just play. A lot of people look at this and they go, what practice regimen should I do? What's this? What's that? None of that really matters. Get in front of the keyboard and play your matches. Then, once you find yourself comfortable with the controls, comfortable with the game in general, you'll start to do better. A game like League, especially, is challenging because I've been doing this for who knows how many weeks now, and I still find myself uncomfortable playing the game. I'm a lot better than I was, that's for sure, but I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. And it takes time, and I just got to start working through that and figuring it out, and the best way to do that is exposure. I've also found at my skill level I attempt to avoid ranked as much as I can. As much as it would be nice to kind of put myself in that more competitive experience, until I'm really comfortable with the game, I don't want to be in a scenario like that, because I feel it adds another pressure to myself to a list of others that I already have. And I think that's important for people too. Until you feel comfortable in quick play, don't feel this pressure of, well, I have to have this status, I have to play ranked so that it means something. No, if you're only playing for it to mean something to brag to your friends, then I don't think you really enjoy the game, or you don't like the game for what it is. You should be allowed to play the game in quick play and draft in ARAM and still love it. If you don't love it there, then you're definitely not going to love it in a competitive sense. Don't do it just for status or, points with your friends or something. It doesn't mean anything that way. A big motivating factor for me playing is that I like the aesthetic of League. It reminds me of being a teenager, when I used to play with my friends after school. And I love the artwork in it. I like the lore of League. That's why I really like Arcane, which shout out to Arcane. Season 2 has been great. And enjoying something for what it is, I think, a really important step in the competitive climb process. Similar to how I said before, if you don't want to jump into ranked, then why would you, ever want to enjoy these other elements of the game? You need to step back and go, well, why am I playing the game? What do I like about it? I like the aesthetic. I like the energy of it. That's what it is for me. It could be other things. You just like MOBAs, or you like the thrill you get when you start to get a lot of kills and you're ahead of the other team. Whatever that motivating factor is, lean into it. Enjoy it. For me, what keeps me interested in League and keeps me motivated to do the climb is I'll consume other media around League too. I got YouTubers I like. I've been diving into the lore more, being interested in Arcane and everything. And being able to do that and experience the game those other ways is, I think, super helpful to make me want to come back. And that can be an important part of the process. Especially considering, when I approach it, I now approach it differently than, oh, hey, let's play some League with my friends. I'm attempting to do this for a series on the internet. It's daunting sometimes for me. I sit here thinking, oh my gosh, I have to delay this video. I'm not ready. I don't think it's good enough, etc., etc., etc. Which, if you follow the channel, this video itself has been delayed a couple times because I wasn't happy with it. And that pressure, you can't let it get to you. So you have to find other reasons that you do things. And for example, think about MMA, right? If you're a fighter, you obviously have to love fighting, and you love winning, and you like the glory of it all, but you have to actually enjoy learning the martial arts or the exercise you get from it. If learning different techniques is annoying to you, then, well, why else do you do it? Well, you enjoy sparring with people, even if, you're annoyed, oh, I gotta learn this new thing. You find an element that you like, and that can help you stay motivated to compete. And that's what I've been trying to do. That's what I try to do all the time. I try to find elements of things that keep me interested. That's the best I can say for this week on the climb. That's my practice regimen. That's kind of how I go through playing the game, what I like to do with it, what I find personally motivating within League, talking about it in specifics. This kind of connects to my last week's episode talking about Arcane. And just super excited to finally get this out, finally be happy with what I was trying to do. And I look forward to next week talking about my Japanese learning and my practice in that, and the similar things that keep me motivated to get better at that. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you all in the next video, and as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Support the channel however you can. So much love. See you next time.